Continuing briefly with the Disney theme introduced in the previous upload, the subject of the current video is Onward, the 22nd film from Pixar concerning two teenage elves attempting to resurrect their father, while accompanied with his legs due to a magical mishap. You know, the standard plot. As an entry from a major animation studio, the visuals deserve early mention, with numerous intriguing and versatile character designs, expressive movement, and photorealistic backgrounds. A necessary sense of life is brought to this universe. An early personal concern from the first trailer was that the fantasy setting would be used for a small amount of initial, pointless, uninspired jokes and immediately be discarded, but this was not the case. Throughout the film, a fountain of multifaceted, explicit and implicit moments of humour that are derived from the fantasy setting can be found. They start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and they hit the ground running. The Mold. Onward's approach to its mythical setting felt similar to BoJack Horseman's approach to humanising animals, in that the ideas are totally secondary to the more believable conflict, but are occasionally acknowledged through subtle wordplay or geniusly observed reality parallels, or brilliantly calculated physical comedy. This technique totally succeeds, and its avoidance of juvenile jokes or innuendo mean this is easily one of the funniest Pixar films. The world building also encourages some intriguing and unexpected plot points that add genuine, whimsical, action-driven jeopardy. Given the all-star cast, the voice acting is another impressive facet. Tom Holland excels so notably as a shy, thoughtful, slightly socially inept teenager with a deceased parental figure and surprising capability that I'm surprised he's never been cast in a role of that kind before. Pratt so skillfully plays a boisterous buffoon with hidden emotional depth who still listens to cassettes in the modern day that I'm surprised he's never been cast in a role of that kind before. Octavia Spencer excels as the part of a lion, scorpion, winged manticore, once a legendary fierce adventurer, now the pressurized proprietor of a themed restaurant, so much that I'm surprised she... No, actually, she never has been cast in a role of this kind before. I'm not even being sarcastic in this case. Julia Louis-Dreyfus of Veep also plays a character who is given a refreshing, dynamic and surprisingly resourceful role as the brother's single mother. In fact, every important character is in some way sympathetic, capable, and useful in advancing the story. A story which incidentally is admirably intimate and simple, but made unique by several unexpected variables and some genuinely bold, restrained, creative decisions that invoke such a sense of surprising and individual meaning to the film. There are also several recurrent themes and incidental phrases or events that become relevant later on, a la Chekhov's gun, or Chekhov's magical staff with a gem on top of it, as the case may be. Like many Pixar films, Onward is willing to maturely explore emotional tragedy with a clear degree of control, meaning that it almost totally avoids sentimentality or cliché. Finding genuine criticism for this film is a real challenge, given that I was engrossed and entertained throughout. Chris Stuckman mentioned feeling emotionally distant from the plight of the heroes, but this isn't a difficulty I particularly experienced, despite expecting to based on his review. One slight criticism is that sometimes the mythical nature of the characters feels underused. If several characters, including our leads, were replaced with humans, the plot would barely suffer. However, it'd presumably be difficult to fully justify the presence of mythical creatures without severely prolonging the film, and after all, there are certain occasions where the character's fantastical abilities are actually utilised for narrative purposes, and even when this isn't the case, it does at least offer some promising comedy. Onward is a funny, exciting, well-acted, emotionally mature, imaginative, gripping tale with a rewardingly interconnected plot, offering cliché avoidance and formula deconstruction. My initial instinct was to reward the film a 9 out of 10, but my scores usually reduce themselves slightly after a period of reflection, so for now I'll reward the film an 8.5 out of 10 as a preemptive decision. To ensure that my views on the film do not change, I'd better knock Onward. Thanks for watching. If you don't watch the next video, I'll assume you've recently only had your bottom half magically resurrected, so we're unable to view or listen to videos. Mr. Crowley, what they done in your head? Wow, wow, Mr. Crowley, Can you talk to the dead? Down, 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 down.